getting into this YouTube. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing great today. We've got another session here that we're going through. It's Friday. It's May 24th. I'm going to do is I'll record this on our end as well. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be streaming here. We are going to have Kyle and Baba join us from Vanta as well as Fatty. So there's going to be four of us today, which is going to be pretty interesting. We'll take a look at these markets and what is going on, see if we can get some trade opportunities to wrap up this week. The last 2 days in this market have been fairly eventful. And let's see, today might be one of those days that continues such eventful behavior and movement. Daily volume on the SPOOs right now, nearly 160,000, which is pretty solid to begin with, right? It's, I wouldn't necessarily say super heavy, right? I'd like to see 200 plus, but we're on the right path. So let's go through some of this this news that we got going on here pre-market before we introduce everyone. We put everyone on board here. So what do we have here? What do we have in terms of news? Not too much, right? Some of the news that held out from yesterday. It wasn't a lot of people are like, oh, is this news driven? What's going on? And the market's tanked a decent bit, right? The SPY is down. How much on a single day? Let's see, from the top to the bottom, it's only down 1.5% on an individual session basis here on the SPY from yesterday. Triple Qs from that high after running into a new all-time high thanks to NVIDIA earnings, down about 1.9%. NVIDIA, on the other hand, yesterday held out extremely well. It gapped up and continued throughout the majority of the day. The sell-off that came in NVIDIA, came in while the overall market started selling off into the afternoon. So again, with this 10-to-1 stock split, there is probably some momentum to the upside as that stock split's expected to be late June. So there's typically a nice run up that happens into those split periods. In terms of some of the other news, right, we talked about AI yesterday and how it affects the media industry. There's some news that surrounds that a bit. The media industry changes tack when it comes to artificial intelligence, with multiple content licensing deals being announced as of late, right? Hollywood may be next. Alphabet and Meta, right? Google and Meta have reportedly held talks with the major Hollywood studios on licensing content for use in AI generation software, offering tens of millions of dollars. So Warner Bros. Discovery WBD is keen on licensing some of its programs to train AI models, while Netflix and Disney are interested in other types of collaborations, and Microsoft's backed OpenAI has held similar discussions. So as it stands, right, the AI craze continues. Everyone calling this a bubble. I think you're going to be very unpleasantly surprised as we see what happens towards the end of the year. When we talk about just like the medium term right now, we're in a position with the SPY and the triple Qs to kind of hold a distribution area between 523, 524 and these highs. This would be a nice area to stall out, because if you start breaking under into this distribution to the downside, it might get very, very heavy for that sell. So yesterday on the S&P 500 futures, we'll take a look at that. 5260 was a target of mine to see some kind of basing and bottoming, but realistically, we did not trade that. We traded about 15 points away from that area. So we'll see how it kind of shapes up today. We'll do a little wrap up and review of that plan. But I'm just going through some of the other news right now. Taking in some of this stuff, right? There's some crypto news as well. So less than 6 months after approving the first Bitcoin spot ETF, the SEC is broadening the reach for crypto in the crypto world. The agency has approved applications from NASDAQ, NYSE or ICE, CBOE, and 5 other to list exchange-traded funds that invest directly in Ether, right? So the issuer still needs a separate green light from the agency before the products can go live, with a deadline yet to be determined. And Ether, which rose 20% this week amid ETF optimism, still fell 4% following the approval in typical buy the rumor, sell the news fashion. So crypto has been rallying pretty aggressively over the past few days here. We can see past few weeks, we're almost back into these highs on the ETH. If we take a look at BTC as well, BTC has really hit a plateau here, it would seem, and like breakouts most likely going to expand to the upside. I don't have too much insight on crypto, right? I just hold some of these things long term and see where this goes. But realistically, with all these rumors, and if ETH gets an ETF as well, ETF gets a spot ETF as well, there's probably going to be more gain and momentum in this rally, right? A lot of people talking about altcoin season, which is something that I'm not diving into too much. But there was a massive craze. Remember when like Boden coin came out and people were making like millions of dollars off like hundreds and thousands or like hundreds of dollars in investment. So there's still some kind of memery to go about with that. That could expand to the upside a little more. So I'm mainly going to be focused on these equity markets. There's not too much news from yesterday, right? Everyone's looking for some kind of reasoning as to why this market dropped 1.5%, which is not necessarily insane, but there's nothing really to it at that point, right? They just started selling more aggressively. That's about it. And on Friday, typical Friday fashion, we might be seeing some kind of momentum that swings back to the upside, but there's going to be very pivotal aspects for that to kind of happen. So in today's news, we have Fed's Waller that's speaking at 9:35 in about 25 minutes, then consumer sentiment, and then Baker Hughes rig count. So yesterday, let's go over some of this plan with the ES and the NAS. I've got the plan already written up here, as you guys may see, but we had like a rounding bottom towards the last 12 hours or so. And realistically, I was waiting to see around 52.60 area if we can actually trade that. This low 70 is pretty solid, but I'll show you why I was really hankering around that 52.60 to see prices trade in there for the swing to the upside. Unfortunately, didn't trade, but one of the main reasonings is that it's a very vast distribution ledge that finds itself in this market on the S&P. So we've kind of flatlined this upper distribution area, but you can see as the start of a very big distribution into these low 60s. For me, that's a very pivotal area that big buyers are expected to step into this and try to swing this higher. So yesterday we accumulated a lot of volume into those lows, which obviously have held out fairly well. We traded into this low 70 area, and that created this bottoming region. So as it stands, we're in this like minor distribution right now, where the upside band is around that 53.05 area. And this is going to be very pivotal for me today on the SPOOs. It's going to be the major pivot that I'm going to be holding, right? So if we start swinging back above it and there's a large bid, we just go and clean this up. We clean up the rest of this auction. We probably trade into that low to mid 20, and then we call it a day. But as long as they fail from there, there's still some kind of bearish momentum. So I want to see how prices react off this open. Remember, it's Friday after yesterday's sell in such a strong market. Granted, volume and volatility have been fairly low, but after such a strong sell in a single day, like I wouldn't be surprised as people want to try to bid back into this until the long weekend as we get ready for a 3-day weekend in the US, Memorial Day coming out on Monday. So as I look at this, right, we have a minor level at that 52.90 and then down back into this like 73. But I'm just going to be mainly watching this like 53.03, 02 area. 02 to 05 area, see if they can actually hold a bit above it, or if they fail at those regions, to see if we can get this burst back up and clean up some of this auction and move to the upside. So I have a slight bullish bias, but it's only effective if we start actually rallying through some of these areas and accepting distributions to the upside. Otherwise, right, we're just playing with the following trend from yesterday. So if this turns into a multi-day run to the downside, which is completely opposite of what I was expecting after what we saw on Wednesday, we're going to see levels much lower than 52.60, but I think that that barrier holds extremely well in the coming days, or maybe today. I don't know if they traded today, but we'll see. With the Nasdaq, such similar case, right? Nasdaq was a bit stronger realistically, but yesterday we really showed a weak hand after Nvidia. Remember, Nvidia is about 6.5% of the Nas holdings, right? It's about 6.5% of the weight. So with Nvidia propping this thing up fairly well, right, as other equities were dumping, Nasdaq took a longer time to actually sell off, but once it did, it sold off really aggressively. Again, with the Nasdaq, right, yesterday I was waiting closer to like 605, 600 area, so I can just pick up some swings and punt this to the upside, but that didn't trade. We're moving above some key levels right now, that 670, as well as you can see where the volume dropped off from yesterday's session into that 705. we're above that, and we can clean up some of this auction. Potentially, we start running back into that top of the distribution, 840, 850. But I would like to see like um, very shallow pullbacks into like 730. I don't necessarily want to see 705 again if I'm going to be long this, and then above 760 region. If we can actually hold a very strong bit above that, I get fairly bullish, and I'll start looking to pick these things up. But right now, what they're doing is they're opening up some of this upside momentum into the overnight session, coming into a few pretty heavy resistance points that you might say, right, on Nasdaq and the S&P, both alike. So I'll be very cautious about that, right? I don't want to get overzealous and start anticipating XYZ moves, but we'll see if this bull side momentum wants to hold today. And there's key pivots that I want to just dissect, and I'll go from there. So hope everyone is excited. We got some guests to put on today. That wrap up, it's 9:15, right? We can allow for a little more banter before we get this market open. We'll hear some thoughts from Kyle, from Baba, and Fatty if he appears. He's gonna appear. He's just later maybe. So I think I've added them as panelists. Let me just check my volume. Is it good enough?
Hey, I've been promoted.
There you go.
Can people hear me this time? What's up, Baba?
How you guys doing? They should be able to hear you this time because I'm streaming differently. Last time it was just like 7 different things connected. Like it was like very poor wiring. Terrible decision, but
You know, they say you'll have that from time to time.
I think, is that your new catchphrase now? I think that is.
It is. It's been going pretty hard.
What are you looking at today, Baba?
So I heard Vico mention a couple of spots that are real close to important for me. So the like 705, 716 area on NAS, which I think you were somewhere around that area as well. It's kind of a key spot to me to the upside to hold. Like I would like to see if this bid is going to be sustained, that area act as decent support. So a slight sweep of like the current AM lows, but no acceptance or build below that like 716, 705. That would be super important to me for this move to continue. And then acceptance like back into this upper spots are like 53 to 62, which I know sounds kind of weird because it's just right here. But for me, that's like the Euro session high. If I measure the Euro session out till right at 7 a.m. from like 2:30 a.m. And so trading above that and then pulling back in is not the strongest look. So seeing either some continuation back inside 50, above 53 for an immediate opportunity to bid, or to be, for me, I've traded to the downside already this morning. When we traded above 53 half and pulled back in, I traded that down to the 20s. So that trade has already played out to the short side, and the fact that it stalled where it did, kind of in the bottom part of that volume from that time frame, that 2:30 to 7 a.m. It's like in the bottom part of that high volume node there. So I'm kind of on hands for a minute to see what happens. To the downside, we'll just say like a sweep into 16 halves, 716 half, 705. If we recover back above 16 half, that's pretty biddable to me, especially if we kind of can cook for about 12 or 15 points and get back above like 20s. And then honestly, if we were to kind of show some real weakness and trade down lower, like say the 60s to 65 area, I would look at that as possible supportive structure, just based on time. And then Outside of that, it's overnight lows, right? I mean, or yesterday's lows. It's trading below 21.5. The key will be if we trade below 21.5. This is where the Dom specialist himself, Vico, it's the nature of which we have activity below that 21.5. So if we trade below 21.5 and the pace dies off and the volume thins out and we get some stacking on the bid and we recover yesterday's low 21.5, I'd be pretty bullish back inside yesterday's low, honestly. So that's like the immediate commentary just around this area. If we look higher, I think like that 18,800 area. So like call it 801 to 803, maybe 805. Bumping our head on that could be like a structural opportunity to be on the offer if we see what we would want to see there. And then above that, I think you mentioned as well, like the 840s, 850s, that zone, kind of like 838 to 859. That area is just real interesting to me. If we do end up trading to that. But most immediate, like the very most minute immediate perspective is slightly bearish, being back inside the mid 50s. And but bigger picture, the Bears have some work to do to kind of to cook this. I think they're a little bit vulnerable in this area. So
Yeah, good stuff. Honestly, like we're looking pretty much at the same thing. Your levels are more precise. I'll round it up by like 5 points. I'll just throw it in an area, but it's honestly the exact same thing, which is good.
Yeah, it's good. What would be the word? Like good collaboration, good confidence. I think
there you go.
Above that, if we start to slip up, if we start to wind up today on that classic Friday reprieve move where we just kind of seem to catch a bid, I think another great place to look is that 915 to 930 spot, to just give round numbers. That's where we initiated some shorts yesterday, and that would be, in my opinion, like of what yesterday offered. If you weren't short pre-market, then the best opportunity available to the retail trader was that post 12 o'clock peak up into the 15s to 30s. If we get into that area and we start to continue to bid, that is that's going to be pretty detrimental to everything that was accomplished by the Bears yesterday. So
that's so funny you mentioned that. Like that level legit saved my day because I didn't do so. I got stopped on the spoos on that short, and that NASDAQ held out, and I was like, "Geez, thank God."
Yeah. Also, and that was probably, I don't know, that was my other decent trade of the day. I had a good short early, and then tried to play a little grab ass with the market on the bid side, sneak in a couple of spots, which all went like 12, 15 points, and then stop at break even or stop for like 7 points. And so that morning short afforded me the chance to play a little loose with the open to see what we were going to do. But definitely that after lunch trade was a good one to be a part of, to catch that reshort opportunity. But I think the sellers should be motivated here because, again, above this, unless we develop some stuff to trade off of, for me, the sellers have what they theoretically need structurally to just to put some pace on the market to push it down. Again, the hang up spots are in that 715 range, 705 to 715, and then 665, 660, and then 685, 660, 680 to 685, and then that next thing is the 60s, how we interact there. So, but right now this feels like no man's land to me. Like if because we're kind of between a trade setup earlier and the target that I took. So like I've traded this range. I need to get something going outside of this to do much. So, but glad that we're looking in the same spots, man. It's fun.
Yeah, I think I got pretty much the
we can
same thing too.
there. Sorry, Kyle, what was it?
I say I got pretty much the same thing as what you guys are saying. I mean, I kind of learned from both of you, so it makes sense. But uh, the sellers yesterday took out a lot of 4-hour lows, so I think one of the main spots that I'm watching for interaction and to see it get defended is that 682 previous 4-hour low.
Yeah,
And then we've also got that news low at 723 that I think the sellers probably want to go back and retest that. Except in I kind of want to watch that and see if we get kind of that classic sweep and recovery that you were talking about earlier in that spot.
Nice. I think, man, I don't want to be biased about this, but like if they bid this like off the open, there's a morning drive, it'll just run this back towards highs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how that transpires. Someone mentioned in this chat, how many stocks do you keep track of? That's a little off topic, but a lot, honestly. I have like several different portfolios set up, like based on different risk appetites. So many, but I don't want to hold like over 20 stocks in one individual portfolio. At that point, like the diversification really drops off, and trying to track them and manage them becomes a pain in the ass. But yeah, let's see. We got Fatty on here as well. If you want to add some
Morning,
stuff.
Vic.
Fatty.
Morning, Kyle.
What's
Baba
up,
Yaga,
dude?
everyone. What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us.
Good.
Awesome. No, it's good. It's great to have you. I would love to add, but I have nothing to add. You guys covered it all. We're at the same level, same theory. Let's just like see how the momentum does in the first 10 minutes of the open, and we'll go from there. But yeah.
Yeah, also Monday.
See.
Monday's Memorial Day in the States, so like market's gonna be closed. I'd honestly assume that it'd be very American of the markets to close on a push higher. So let's see if that transpires.
Gosh, man, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like to look at this the opportunity this morning, like that sweep up, which Kyle, I'm sure that you're probably keen on, but like that trade up to 762, we pulled back inside of the 50s. Like to me, for me to feel really good about the bearish side, that needed to continue to trade down much further than it did. So we basically got a typical, or I would say like a back testable normal fade of that sweep, and then that was it. And if we were to see that continuation below the 20s, the mid 20s, then the possibility of that trade having some real life statistically starts to come to fruition. The other interesting thing that we're talking with these guys and TradePro and always looking at volume and stuff like that, if you pull a fixed range volume profile from 2:30 to 7 a.m., which is how I would measure like the heart of the euro range, we've basically closed we've closed a couple 5-minute candles below the point of control from that area. That point of control for that area is 738. And so I find that really interesting that the pace kind of dried up as we traded below that point of control. And that might be the first little hat tip that for now there is some interested parties here on this. So
Kyle and Baba Yaga, you guys are mostly on NASDAQ, right?
Yeah. I have a little auto bot that trades ES that I'm trying to test out, but mostly just
and like what stops are you guys running usually? Like what's your normal bracket look like? Because Baba Yaga was here last weekend and he was running like I think like a 10-point stop on NQ. Is that what you usually run?
That sounds reasonable. I usually base it off of a 30-second chart for my entries, and then it'll be based off of like flag patterns or things like that. So mine varies, but it's based on what the market's showing me.
I got you. So you're more of a variable depending on the level that you have, more like technical stops. So you can be tighter or wider depending on how far your entry is from your level or the area that you're leaning on. Got you.
And then for the sizing will also vary based on that too.
Fair. Fades are definitely different than pullbacks. And for getting out, like, do you guys how fast do you go to break even?
Baba, I think, is a
Like,
lot quicker than I am.
Yeah.
For me, like, it's if I start to see something like forming in opposite of what the position I'm holding is, then I'll be a lot more protective. But I tend to overmanage trades if I let myself. So if I put it on, then I'm just typically let it go, let the stop do its work.
got you. So you're kind of a VSA type of guy. Oh,
Yeah.
Vic will explain VSA a lot better, but yeah, fair. And and is your entry is you spread out your entries, or you just put it on, like, you
Uh,
enter through like a couple of points, or
so I'll take like one or two initially, and then I'll try to add with strength as it starts moving my direction.
got you. Yeah, same here. We have this one trader, Michael. Yeah, he's gonna tell you at some point towards this session. He likes to have like one entry, and it works for him. And I think it's great. It's more like your style of entry. You just have to be more precise. There's the open. Sorry for ranting. Let's see what
That's
this
right.
does.
Yeah, I'll just open a trade and then just let it do whatever it wants to do.
That's typically the best. When I trade the best when I let that happen. When I start to try to manage it, then I make mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
agree. With tighter stuffs too, the thing is, like, especially if you're newer, you can get caught up in a level, and you find yourself trying it like two,
Over
three
and over.
times when it's not needed. So
Yep.
especially when you're newer, put the risk, accept the risk, find the level, lean on it, and leave the stuff where it is. Ah. Oh.
Yeah, just a few minutes here. There's some like bidding trying to happen. These guys look pretty strong off the open right now, but
Pretty strong volume on that too.
we're just trading right at this like 03 area right now on the spoos. Nas like into these 730s.
We've been in that 30 area pretty nicely on NQ.
Yeah. There's like rotationary open here. We got just under 200,000 contracts traded off this open.
I kind of like the way they keep bidding this out.
I know.
I'm still watching here, but especially being back inside that prior 30-minute range low and having the OR kind of at least the 30-second OR, like trade right down to it, and then the sweep is below that 30-minute range. If they could get some pace on this back above that 53, might be something to tickle into for an OR high run. But it's Friday too. I'm trading so small, it's not even funny. I've had a really good week and have vacation coming up on Sunday. We're leaving, so I'm gonna be slower to the trigger and um, trading like a third of the size.
Yeah, Fridays are typically slow, low trade quantity days for me as well.
Yes, just looks like I tried to sweep that OR low. Covered pretty quickly. I did take a little stab at 46. I couldn't help myself.
I don't blame
Nice
you.
on the long, yeah.
I'm just risking the OR low.
Yep, you and everybody else.
Yeah.
It's a good trade. I mean, now traded above that 53.5. If we get above the 62, that's important to me. Especially like if we can get some like say sustain up here 3 or 4 minutes. Not just get not just get a snapback kind of vibe.
Right.
Then I think that 801, 802, 18.8 is definitely on deck.
NASDAQ going on the bid here. We need spoos to follow through.
Yeah, but just sweeping and dumping back in is not what I want to see. I just close that out at the high there. Probably should have held it for longer, but
the 73 spot. Need to see kind of continuation above that.
Yeah, getting above 77 puts
77 needs to break it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I still have one. I tried the same trade maybe a little earlier of those rotations. Friday likes to bid, so opening range trade long of the open seemed pretty close to me. I like the bid side as well, in the beginning. So try the long on NQ. I have one lot running. Now it looks worse.
That's what I was afraid of.
Well, yeah, I'd like to see it sustain above 53.5.
I used to do the opening range trade a lot. It was like part of my arsenal. Then at some point when the volume drops, it starts getting choppy. So it's like be picky about. I started being picky about like when to play the opening range and when not to, because like you need momentum. Otherwise, it's just gonna chop you up and down at the opening range.
So
yeah.
I've actually been back testing.
I grabbed some there when we pulled back into 56. If we can trade through 72, I'll add to this for a trade to 18K. Sorry.
That's a Fady. Just when we get to a lull, remind me. I'll tell you what I've been doing with some back testing. There might be some tools that you might find interesting with that.
Fair. Love it.
Looking at these spoos too, I think spoos are about to run higher.
The Autobot was pretty much flat, took 2 trades, got paid a partial on one. I can't see your trades anymore, Baba. This is kind of weird. I'm flying blind.
I mean, it's going to be the same thing as always. I don't want to see this back inside that like 50 to 53. I think if that happens, we just unwind it. Or yeah, like 49.25 is all I'd want to give it. And again, this is a small position.
Vico, you guys' chat is awesome. Whose animals are we listening to? Where's my?
Oh yeah, I'm on a farm here.
Love it.
What does the goat mean?
We haven't heard a goat in a while. Goat means get long.
Oh man, is this gonna be the kind of day we're gonna get? We're just gonna ping pong between the OR.
You need to hold this opening range high if you want to believe in the buy side. Otherwise, you get back in there, you lose the bullish momentum and the bullish buys.
Right.
Trying it again, same area, pretty much 52s. A small.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sit on my hands for a bit.
That's feeling the buy side.
I haven't seen too much I want to throw money at right now. The spoos need to catch a better bid here.
Oh my God.
Waiting to see if they can expand through this 05 better.
Oh man, that's
not stronger here.
Yeah. I thought I had I switched to a different time frame there on this account. So 1 second chart. I was like, what am I looking at? That's a mistake. We're right here against this spot. I'm probably filling out flat here.
Yeah, sellers are trying to step in and push here.
Same trade is really still valid. The only thing I don't love is should we have offered those 72 halves instead of trying to rebid this move up. Just a second attempt to hold above 53 or third for the day on the bulls, and stay out of that euro range. I'd like to see that have happened there, but
That was a seller that was walking down some big lots that got filled down there. We can start to push away from that. Maybe we see some expansion.
I mean, we traded out both sides of the prior 30 minutes, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
kind of like, come on, guys, what are we doing? Low conviction here on a Friday, folks.
Yeah, it's not really doing much that I want to get behind right now.
Still holding point of control from that, so, but other than that.
Timmy. Low. I might have to go find something else to look at. See what UB's doing.
I'm still thinking of these longs in these areas on SPOOs and on NAS, but I need a little more info here because SPOOs are just like trading in this like tight little pivot area I have. NAS is back towards its session lows.
I'd just rather see them sweep something first. Not being able to take the R low should be pretty informative too. Okay, that's interesting.
Mama, you really you have to wash all that off.
Who is that? Is that little JoJo?
That was Joe. I think she's saying longs above 53. I don't know. That's what it sounded like. She's 4. I'm just kidding. Not financial advice.
Oh, did she do her race? How'd she do?
I mean, she finished it, so she's 4. I mean, it was a half mile charity run, but she ran the whole time. My wife ran with her.
Nice.
So
my mom likes to tell the story when I was 5. I came home talking about because we used to do the presidential thing, fitness thing. And I came home telling her, like, we ran, I was so fast, I was faster than everybody. And then she got the report and I was like bottom, like 1%. I was not a good runner.
I put a little bit back on here above 53 half. I know that isn't the sexiest buy in the world. I want to add to it above 62 for a push. Or I'll just, donate another $60. I'm trading micro, so it's a little easier to
donate.
To donate if I need to, but for a chance to find out.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't hate it. I mean, there's a lot of selling into that.
Well, the other thing is I took that morning trade with minis, so I have something to work with. It's one of my favorite ways to come into a day. I can pay those finder fees. Those finder fees are already covered.
Right.
So it could close even a minute up here.
I just want a freaking expansion one way to kind of get on board.
I think if we can accept above that 77, we could start to see a decent unwind up higher.
Okay, I'll take one off on NAS here. I'm still long. I just had a bad entry, but I have wider stop than you guys. I try 15 point stops on NAS and like 4 on ES. And sometimes, honestly, like if I'm adding with micros, I widen. So yeah, still long NAS.
You need this up now. So I added, and we need
now
to
we're deep.
62, and that 77 is on deck here. I mean, if we are gonna have a Friday where we expand or go somewhere, but 15 minutes in, we've really wowed the crowd. I mean, this is pretty slow, small pay, small range, but
40 points on the
yeah,
15-minute OR.
yeah. Yeah, well, you've had 40.30-second OR, so. But there should be some freedom. I mean, there should be some room above this, honestly. I think that
Yeah.
18K really it's really viable spot to try to get to.
There we go. They're trying. Just don't fail 76 again.
Yeah, right. Double top that. So into
Yeah.
like the mid 80s, I'll start to peel some of this off. If we can get there, like 85s, 87s. I've got probably a few more micros than maybe it's easy to just click when they're little like that. So let's see.
Yeah, when risk is small, you really just put them on there. It's yeah. There we go. 80. Come on.
Yeah. Taking a one off there, a couple off there. Into that 82, 82 3/4, whatever it was. Now we'll just see if we can get the rest to expand to that 18 8. Might trim some in the low 90s.
Great trade, guys. Let's go. Close your eyes and get long. Buy the open.
Maybe.
Friday special.
The Friday.
Yeah.
Well, last time we traded together, it was a really strong Friday special. They manipulated the low coming into the morning early, and then just ran it like 150 or 200 points, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then they
turned
around.
In the morning, double-sided in the morning, and then the buy side just came and evaporated the sell side.
Yeah. And they ran that thing up, and then that was the same day we had the big range up, and then we turned around and had a big range down. I think it ended up expanding both ways, which was nice.
I remember we caught some nice shorts on that day.
Yeah.
I need these spoos to expand, otherwise this might be a little tough here.
Yeah, I need to see what's going on in the I've like been a little singularly focused here. I'd be curious to see what ES is looking like here. Yeah, it's freaking being the nerd of the bunch.
Yeah, ES can't expand for shit. This ES has barely moved today.
Yeah.
God, they have 8-point range.
Yeah, it's barely traded above the OR by what, like a point? One, well, yeah, 1 point above or something.
So, I was actually kind of afraid something like this might happen with the 3-day weekend
by a
coming
couple
up.
of points, then it just dumps back down.
Well, just I think everyone's taking off to go start their 3-day weekend early. We may not have as much.
Be the case.
Buying energy. Yeah. That's how I thought of it too, honestly. But I trade the buy side until they fail.
Right.
That's I think below like 35, 36, you start like, okay, like they're leaving now. Out on NQ. That was a good trade. I micromanaged it a little bit, didn't want to give back a lot, so tighten the stop. Now
I think that's probably the right decision today.
Yeah,
That's
back
an
inside this 53 half will be super interesting here.
Like that.
A lot of
Might be-
activity going for the Dom here on the spoos right now. There's a pretty big offer.
Nice buys coming through on NQ.
I know. I'm debating if I should try it again or not. It's just like I feel like a monkey. Just keep buying.
I
Like
know.
it's not. Try it until it fails.
There's a 2000 Delta 5300 on the spoos here. Let's see how this thing reacts. This can dictate a pretty strong next move.
Yeah, this below NQ back below 53 that's got me out on the rest of those runners, and then I'd get back in if we can get back above 62. Otherwise, I think it's a tough look here. So
I wish that bar wasn't so big. I'd try a little short on there. We could get a retest at 55.
Trying the short, Kyle.
I was thinking about it, but my stop would be too big. I didn't really want it for
Yeah.
the reward potential.
Yeah, because it can pop into like 72 again before you see that sell side come in. So I don't. Yeah, I was thinking the same, but
Yeah.
yeah. It's like
I
how
mean,
many times is this buy side gonna hold, and it comes down with a strong offer each time. So I see the sell idea. It's just like I can't find the level to lean on with good,
yeah,
probability.
exactly. Nothing has a good risk reward profile.
I'm short this off that back test of 53 half.
I like it.
And my stop is above 62, so like 9 points. And then honestly, I'll probably flip there if it
they hold this and push
yeah.
above.
Do you use the reverse button? Do you like flip a lot between trades?
I don't flip a lot, but inside this tight range and basically like having kind of a couple of key spots here, it's just and it's a small position. I wouldn't hit the flip button with a larger position, but
I can just feel the frustration on all the traders right now.
Dude, I'm gonna get along these lows.
On spoos, Vic? What is spoos up to?
Along the spoos.
Vico is the only one keeping up with the spoos. He's true to this. I love it.
some pretty big sells there on NQ at the 54s.
Yeah.
Couple of fat ones slipped through there.
Yeah. I like the sell idea, honestly, on NQ. It's just like there's a big delta at around 58 half. And like if it pops there and like it fails back, I'll try it. Right now, this is too rich for me. Even though I use wider stop,
I hear my cat.
Yeah.
I mean short.
Struggle into 43 is real, bro.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I was just about to say if we can trade back down below this, I'll scale some of this into the mid, like low 30s, 33s, 32s.
Here you go. You guys are getting it. Good trade. Good trade.
This is pretty weak right now.
Nasdaq is falling off a cliff right now. That's
Need a little bit more here. There we go. So I'm gonna
nice.
cover a little bit into that low.
Before this.
Next on deck is that 18s. Like anything short of trading through 1825 is just stupid. And then if they fumble this here, it might be a great place to be bidding. I'm just sitting on a handful of micros for the what ifs, but this is like one of those trades where I feel like I can have a pretty high standard like for exit, because structurally, like looking at this, like if we do all of that move from 88s, we melt all the way down and all we do is sweep 32 half or 33s. Like that is such a failure. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Structurally, it looks bearish, and you have a lot of room to the downside if they can run. So it makes sense to be patient with the rest of the trade.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's I got the core off for like 20-ish points. So whatever they do from here, but this is that for me, a place that I've tried to improve somewhat is like this is a danger zone, like for the bears, like below 32, without trading through without getting through like that 16 to 18. It's a real area of caution. Like but being in that trade, knowing that like needs to be the target, it's clearly defined like what the failure is as well as like letting this leak back up above this, for me, back above this like mid of that distribution that we've been playing around in for a while. So it's like clearly defined boundaries, and then I can just be cool with whatever. And if I miss the manipulative NQ special where we go, up a half 3/4 of a point below that swing low, and that's all the bears get, then I just miss it, but that level doesn't matter. That area doesn't matter as much to me as that 53 half.
I did take a little stab down there on that sweep and recovery of the OR low.
Yeah. You and everybody else.
Why do you keep saying that?
I don't know. I
Reaction
just
here on the
just-
buy side. I need a little more juice on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quick to cut this if I see anything I don't like.
For exits, when I trade threes, I take one at the top. Like let's say I'm long on a pullback, take one before the break or after the break, and I let one run. This is how I usually take my trades, because I find like after it breaks a key level, you either get a decent run or you get a fake out. So it's like the best point to get out of a trade is right after that break, because you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I'm going to break even here. Might be choking this one out, but I'd rather protect myself on a Friday.
Nice short, Michael, 780. Whew, let's go. Michael shorts the MSA special. Let's go. Wow. I want to do the short Nans. It's just, I don't know why hesitating.
All right, I'm out. I'm out of that.
You try a short?
I tried a long off of the
long?
sweep of the OR low, and they recovered it.
Nice. And you use a tighter stop with those trades, right? Because you can see the entry defined.
Yeah, from that one, it would have been, stop basically a point below the low. The failure to even come back up and test those 55 rotations. That's why when we started pushing up towards that, it stopped about 3 points short of my first take profit.
Some news in 2 minutes.
Oh, good to know.
How does my mic still sound weird?
Yeah, it sounds like it might be on the wrong one.
I don't know. I've just checked the settings. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's probably.
Oh, now you're just quiet.
Now you just left.
All right, well, I'm sorry. What do you want from me?
There you go. There you go.
There, I've got it. We're sorted. We're sorted.
So, Fede, remember I was talking about when I move my stops, I tend to choke my trades out, and
Yeah.
yeah, right there. There's T1.
So you just enter and you just let it be.
I know, right?
That long Nasdaq near the open, I let it come back to my entry and then rip higher, only to take it like 10 points higher than it originally went. I'm like, oh, what a fucking idiot.
What do we have? We have consumer sentiment at 10.
Yeah.
So really soon, in like 20 seconds.
Consumer sentiment is how well Nvidia is doing.
Yeah, right.
Watch for that sweep
Speaking
of
of
723 here.
Come on, you got to move higher, Nvidia.
Ooh, there goes the news.
Man, I wish I would have still held
There
that.
goes some. I take profit on spoos. That's how you play the news, baby.
Let's go.
Not on that long, not on the short, not on anything, but good job if you're long something. What is Spoons doing, Vic? Running higher? Oh,
Yeah.
back.
Taking about like
Nice.
9-10 points on this. That's what it's doing.
Nice trade, man.
Yeah. The news always, it either goes your way or it goes against you. It's just the risk you carry sometimes, especially when the entry is there. I used to shy away from trading around the news, but not anymore. Right now, I cut the size and I let it do. Nasdaq now above the 80.
Yeah, there's some volume coming in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that flattened me out at 55. So
Nice
Yeah.
pickup, Vic. Good long. Haven't been to trading S&P a lot lately. The low volume made the range kind of like very narrow. Like I use a 3-4 point stop. It spends like 80% of the time in a 6-point range. Risk reward just isn't there. So lately I've just been on NQ a lot more often.
NQ is nice because you know right away.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives you that, yeah.
Let's see if this thing can run, but I took most off here. This might be the final move for me.
Yeah, losing that long at the was it 38? I think I had it at. That's gonna probably sting for the rest of the day. I might have to sit on hands for a bit.
If they play a range on these spoos, they're going to try to take it down from these highs. But I'm going to chill for a bit here.
Well, if they go all the way back down to like, if they get back inside of 62, this is I would be shocked on NQ.
I know. I really hope they don't, because like then it's just the day becomes like no direction. You're just playing off like big bounces from the two key areas. Like if NQ holds around like mid 60s, I don't know. We'll see. But right now, I think buyers just need to go. What is the S&P up to?
I think I'm holding the mid 70s.
S&P fighting towards these highs. It popped the high though around 06 into 10.
It's not looking super bull right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Tickling the sell side here. Smaller position. Entries 80 half.
I was about to short Nez too, man, but then I was like, fuck, being long spoof short Nez. That's how it's done, I guess.
I'll take some off into the OR high if we trade back down to there, and then try to let a little bit of this run. stops. Typical, like 7.5 points on a very small position, but
I didn't hear what you said there. The mic like cut out.
oh, I just said this. My stop's like 7.5 points on this entry at 80. Is 8 or 7 3/4, 87 3/4. My stop. Don't want to see us back above that.
Nikolai, I bought the spoo. Someone commented on what's it called on YouTube. Why didn't I buy that 740 area? Honestly, because I didn't want to be long both of them during news, and I was already long spoos. That's the only reason. They're still like pressing lower, man. This Dom's not bullish at all right now. Like Naz is a bit stronger.
Yeah, and this is strong. Like I'm debating that short, but like it's just each pop down gets rebid aggressively.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm staying away.
Holding overnight high.
Yeah.
5-minute OR there. 50% retrace of yesterday's PM move.
I'm just looking at some of these tech names. They're actually holding pretty well. Most of them.
What stock is Bro?
Oh, brother, you don't know about Bro?
No.
Not a big investor, I see. Brown and Brown insurance company.
Oh, okay. It's not Ric Flair. Hulk Hogan.
Brother. Bro is it's a sleeper pick. It's a sleeper, man. I'm telling you. It's a slow and steady insurance company. Nice financials.
Got gobbled up there.
Vic is like a walking portfolio, you know. He really just like he knows all the symbols, what each stock is up to. That's why like I love trading with him. He has a better sense of the overall market. When he says like we're gonna bid to next week, he's mostly right. So yeah. I'm not big on portfolios. I swing with options. I swing sometimes on futures, and I like very, very minimal like option activity. And yeah, that's mostly futures. I started here and I'm gonna finish.
You're gonna finish here.
Field guide to the United States of Pros, really?
The spoos look weak.
Nasdaq man keeps flirting with the high, then failing. It's just like it does this small grind upwards that is just hard to. I don't know where to short.
You know what I'm waiting for on Nasdaq personally is to see if they actually like cluster like a shitload of like buyers into highs, so I don't have to like constantly buy higher and higher.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, sell higher and higher. See that sweep on the spoos? The offers are coming in pretty fat right now.
I'm short the Nasdaq again, 88.25.
Holy shit, you guys trade a lot.
Do you execute with market orders, Baba Yaga, or limits?
Yeah, market in and then usually try to get limit out and
get out. Yeah, limit out. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I trade.
Yeah, because you're pretty fast, so I was like, it's hard the limit. It's hardly a limit.
Yeah, and I'm trading a little bit more today, just because I'm trading micros, so it's kind of like, you know, it's like a pew pew, you know, it's like whatever.
Is that how it is?
He's got a Mac 10 today instead of a revolver.
Dude, I've taken 2 trades and I'm like pretty not with it anymore.
I'm right there with you. I was actually hovering over the buy button in the 75s and then heard Baba talk about being short. I'm like, I
Well,
can't be
I mean,
fading you on a
you
stream
you
day.
can fade me on the stream. If we back inside 87, which we haven't spent much time back inside there, but back inside
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
it starts to get slippery for me. Now, they have let me down a little bit every time we've closed anything back inside there, but and we also have that just a little bit higher is a little more interesting too. So like that eight, we talked about that 18.8 spot. So, but or 1801, 18 whatever it was. So
It's hard for me to be on the sell right now because just sellers haven't done anything. They've low ticked the
Yeah,
OR. That was pretty much the only win they've had today.
yeah. Exactly. I'm in the two trade boats as well, like 44 long earlier, and after that, like 53 or 54 long again. And yeah, the sell side just haven't accomplished anything. They haven't broken through support. The only thing they do in NQ is like after it pops the high by a couple of points, they sell it back down. So yeah, just giving it time right now. I don't wanna overindulge in this. A lot of the approach to an NQ is built around big accumulations of buyers on the delta, and I don't really see that,
Mhm.
necessarily right now. I'm just waiting. Protecting profit is a different skill than making them.
As George like to say, you want to make more
Yeah,
money, you can lose less or earn more.
yeah, yeah,
isn't
exactly.
that the
Yeah.
truth?
Right. I'm in the same boat. 2 trades.
Yeah. Ta-ta.
2 trades. I don't really have a whole lot of interest in trading more of this unless I don't know, we can just break out of this range and start getting some movement.
Possibility.
Michael, how can I eat stops if I don't trade more? I don't know, Michael. Do you enjoy eating stops? You can find something else to eat. Like it's not necessarily stops that.
Nom nom nom.
Uh,
Somebody needs to make a Cookie Monster meme for him.
I must say, Michael's actually pretty good.
These boos keep failing into these highs and they keep getting a little trapped.
Yeah.
We hit that 18,000. I gave this one more shot here, boys.
That's how it's done. Reload them.
Reload it a little bit more, and that's gonna be it.
What do
We've
you
used
think of OS6 short Vic on the spoos?
I was looking a bit higher, man, like into that like 8 area.
8? Okay.
I don't know if they traded though. What is going on here?
Are you trading on TradingView now, or
Sorry?
are you using TradingView to trade now?
No. I just tried to adjust my DOM and then this like stupid thing comes up, like the what's it called?
Oh, the fucking message log from
Yeah.
yeah. It'd be nice if you can turn that off so it quits popping up.
Right.
You can for the message log.
You can?
Really?
Yeah,
that
just
at?
go window disable message log, and you're gonna see message log itself checked with a Nike sign. Just turn that off and disable, and then it doesn't pop.
Oh, that would be fucking nice.
Hey,
big
Fatty, where is it?
delta into that high right there on NQ. Starting to build some at least.
Next spot I'm interested in seeing what happens is 820s. I forget what that is. Distribution ledge. Technically still in balance yesterday. It's
A lot of selling into 05 quarter on the spoos, 500 on the sell, 550.
Pretty strong offer from that 08.
600 now. I might
You should have.
Yeah, I might not.
It might
Uh,
not.
Oh man, I'm
It's like
still just sitting here.
sitting there and waiting.
Sitting here waiting. Get back inside 87, build some pace, go back, challenge the OR, yada yada yada.
And Empire is going to be trash today.
Mhm. No bueno. We got like
Oh,
six,
shit.
700 positive delta into these highs above 92 on the NQ. The buyers are buying into it, but I don't know.
Did Ron not find us?
Posted the link. I mean,
What a freaking day. Look at this thing just do nothing.
Seesaw up and down. Ding dong.
Naz is stronger here. Spoos are asleep at the wheel.
It's I can't get any acceleration. They keep popping these highs and sucking right back in. Here we get some potential.
It's a bit on Naz.
look at it go.
It's made almost 10 points.
Okay, I'm back. What is the market doing?
Going up.
Naz is pushing up.
I don't know. Yeah, I want to see that 820, 825 on Nas. Like, if I'm gonna try to qualify short. From previous, you had like the opening, sorry, the point of control from one of the previous session. It's a ledge as well on the volume profile. That's like
Yeah.
where I would try to jump the short. S&P is not doing much. S&P is just hanging out. You still holding some of that long, Vic?
No.
Flatten. Fair.
Spoos look like shit over here into these eights. Naz is just a little too juiced up though. Oh, no.
All my good setups. They're actually hitting targets today. It just had such wide stop parameters that I just can't justify taking them. But driving by through the OR, that's one that I usually like to take. But freaking candle
That's
on
kind
that
of
thing
where
was
Just
I
want to
just
sell
like
Spoos,
stacking
Yeah.
the
but every
stops. I don't
time
have
I
to like
went
think
to,
about it.
a bit of 21 point stop if I was to take that trade. Not doing that.
Oh, my normal stops are 20 points on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you actually try to use the DOM when you trade NAS? 'Cause I know you
Yeah,
like
that's
it
all
with
I
the
look.
spoos. I can't watch the DOM on NASDAQ that fast. It's just too quick. And
Pretty
Fair.
much like
What do you
90%
use
of my
for
trades
order flow
are in
then?
the
do you use tick compression?
No.
So I think that'd be about the only way I could actually make sense of it.
Yeah, tick compression helps me stay patient. It reminds me that that move up, the whole jump up was just, a couple of points when you don't have, the increments. But what do you use for order flow and NQ? How do you find like the accumulation of delta or big buying and selling? Do you use the footprint?
No, not the footprint. I have a custom study that one of our Discord members made for us that paints the color bars based on volume and delta. And then just large market orders.
Got you. Okay.
Most of my trading is done with candlesticks, though.
That's a crazy statement.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I quit watching the DOM when I realized that I could actually see it better on the candles watching the candle itself. Like I can
Yeah,
see
if
yeah,
it
the
works, it works.
yeah.
yeah. Large volume indicator. I use that a lot, and honestly,
Yeah.
I don't have to stare at the DOM on NQ. It's just when a big trade comes and I see it. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
5 minute, 30 second, and then 4 hour and 22.5 minute. And I'll let Bob, I can explain the craziness of that 22.5 minute one, but it's basically for symmetry on dividing the sessions up into quarters.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't look at that, but Kyle found a home there with that. So
I like it for just getting the session highs. So I pay more attention to 6 hour blocks of time. So like New York AM, New York PM, Euro and Asia sessions, and then using the highs and lows of that for liquidity targets and potential sweep and failures.
If I see a downside reaction, I'm gonna try the short on SPOOs right now. Those 08 keep accumulating buyers.
There a way to post images in this chat?
On Zoom, I don't think so.
No, not on
Yeah.
Zoom. That's
Throw a
so you
screenshot
don't
of what it
use
looks like.
you don't use the tick chart, like tick reversal, like a 10 tick or a 20 tick, mostly time charts.
No, I like to look at like rotations on 30-second chart. So the rotations that lead to a high or a low, if we get the swift recovery that comes out of it, and then the rotations happen above or below, depending on which direction you're going. So you come into it, you rotate, you sweep a low, then you pop back up. I want to see those rotations on the recovery above the rotations that led to the low. Man, volume is trash. Pace is trash. Range is trash.
Yep.
Maybe I'm just mad that I lost my long.
maybe there's a little bit of that.
There's probably some of that.
Probably
You'll
gonna
have
be
that. You'll have
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Market's testing me today.
Don't let it win on Friday, okay?
No, I've already won.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Don't let you lose that on Friday.
There, that's yeah. Don't fuck up Friday.
Yep. They're building some bull on this order flow right now. They're really struggling though.
It's a bit of an exhaustive push trying to test that 820s range that Fady was talking about. That was very nearly a setup there, but take a page from Baba when I'm trying to stop myself from doing anything, just start drawing boxes.
There you go.
I'm just waiting to see if we get one more something interesting. I'm not really like in need of anything on this day.
Yeah.
I took I mean a handful of stops of payments to find out, and then I had that trade with minis before we started the market. And other than that, I've been literally trading like 3 to 5 micros. So, but
A decent bit of bull on this dumb ever since that news.
Brady, what do you want to see in order to try to fade that mid-20s?
I'm looking at like S&P more now because like I'm done with Nasdaq. I see the bull case on Nasdaq, and I don't know. I'm looking more into the short on S&P. Kind of try the 8.5, 9, and I'm taking some heat right now. The DOM looks bullish, so I might take a stop on the stop is at 11.5. It's trading 10 quarter. So yeah, just praying right now.
White knuckle in your trade?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like I don't want to overexposure. Like I had a decent couple of trades on Nasdaq, and I don't want to put the short on S&P and NQ. So it's either this or that. I was like, huh.
It's too bullish. Nasdaq's been creeping up all day. That's why I was buying the
Yeah.
spoos.
There goes my stop on a spoos. Yeah, that's it for me. Good day regardless. No complaints. 2 wins, 1 stop. Can't complain.
I will say, if they start accepting above this 26, I'd take my hands off that short button until we get to something much, much more important. Because
I
there's
don't
really
think
not a
Nas
whole
is-
lot in there.
For me personally, Nas hasn't really looked like a short at all today.
Yeah, exactly. I think we had some opportunities initially out of the open around like 9:45 on that peak and fail of the 5-minute OR, but I mean, other than that, I didn't really see much I liked for short wise.
Friday bull day.
I think more than anything, I'm regretting not taking a long at 76 after the news drop.
Yeah, I feel like I missed the long too. Like, especially when I was long there, I should have been long. I was like, oh, let me wait for news, and after news, it was just gone. So
So
Yeah,
I'm
here we go.
watching 38 to 40, 38 to 45 here. And then above this, the 60 sweep. But yeah, like Kyle said, unless something shows up, you're just running in front of it.
wow, just look at that Nasdaq. Holy, look at that bull.
No.
Damn,
Oh, it's
damn.
starting to move.
That was long 44 at some point today. I wish I still had some of that.
You and me
Look.
both.
Tudum.
Momentum's to the upside.
hmm
Spoos close to an interesting area at the 50. Not that I'm looking to short these guys.
Yeah. 32, let's sell it, just upticked. Sellers are trying to show up there at that spot, Baba. What was your level up there?
The Naz is at the top of the distribution, 840, 850 right now. Well, it's close. After a spoos flew above that like 05 and caught a better bid, like I don't think the shorts were that. 08 failed a few times, fine, but
Yeah.
If anybody said anything to me in the last couple minutes, I had to get up and take care of something. Sorry.
I did ask you where that 30 level you're talking about came from. Is that just the
Oh,
previous session?
sorry.
Or
Yeah,
like
1
90?
second. Yes. It would be let me find it here. The morning the morning range low from yesterday is 802. Above that, there's kind of a little spot, what I would consider a major swing low at 38.25 and 43. And then I would say like the actual any liquidity or whatever rests at above 59. So either we get like this head bump, like we talked about, into this area where we can't kind of continue. It's like a pretty important area to continue for. So yeah, that's where it came from. Swing lows, prior swing lows that matter.
Yep.
You guys are mostly intraday, or you do swings on the futures?
No, with futures, Purdue does a lot of that in our group. I think he's in the YouTube chat right now. Baba and I have been playing around with some options, paper trading, test out some new ideas that he's been working on. That's got some really interesting results so far.
define interesting.
I mean, like, God,
Good.
what kind of returns were we getting on that? Like risking $1,000. I think we traded that thing through. We back traded it through April and made like $6 grand.
Nice.
Doing like 2-3 day swings on QQQ positions based on some work that he's doing with weekly ranges.
I don't have much of anything that I really lean into that isn't highly associated with intraday rotations in my like trading being flat in, flat coming into the day and flat closing it. So I'd love to have some
more
stuff
tools
working in the background. Yeah. And I used to trade options a little more and like lately just haven't, like in the last couple years. More like the last year and a half probably. So
You're more like calls and puts, or like you do iron condors, you write them. Well, what are you?
I used to do a lot of that, like iron condors, butterflies, different things like that. This is just calls and puts based on open and close.
Yeah. And that's mostly what I do as well, like mostly just calls and puts. When the market is directional for a period, it's easier to get on the options. You just pay and you wait. And sometimes you escape the price of entry on the futures and the options. It just gets more expensive. A good tool, definitely with futures to, put some of that money.
Yeah, you get a little bit more forgiveness when you're trading options versus futures.
Absolutely.
Just caps the upside.
Yep.
I spent a lot of time doing some content with Eric Smolinski, ES Invest. He's he was teaching me a lot of some of the structures that he likes. Like one of my favorite ones that he likes to use a lot is the ratio diagonals,
Awesome.
which
Ratio
is like
diagonals.
it's like a calendar spread, but you do it as a ratio instead, so your upside's not capped.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
Interesting. I'll ask you more about that later.
What's NVIDIA doing? Just hanging out. Yeah.
Market went back to sleep.
Right. What time do you guys usually say no thank you?
They're at 11. We'll like shut it down. I trade like if there's opportunity throughout the afternoon, I'll put trades on though.
Yeah, I find that I need to step away after about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, same. I trade the 2 hours of the open and the 2 hours towards the close. So
Mhm.
like, yeah, 2 to about 4 and 9 to about 11. Ever since I came here, I try to do like some of the overnight stuff, like the time advantage here in Egypt right now. So, but like honestly, like that period just was dead, not a lot of overnight activity. But yeah.
Is anybody watching the chat on YouTube? Are we getting questions in there?
Not really.
Okay. There's a little bit of an attempt to sell there. That's not really going anywhere. I'd like to have more of a swifter rejection from that. If they can put some rotations in here, then that gets a little bit interesting.
For the day.
No, when's your laser gun?
Got a tea time today, fortunately.
Oh, really?
It's like a work thing, but yeah, well, a work thing. Oh, we have a meeting with uh my business partner and I with another person who does some real estate investing stuff. So, but it's gonna probably be over some green grass.
Get some liquid lunch to go with it.
Yes.
What do you typically shoot when you golf?
See that?
Yeah, good rounds are like mid to lower 70s. Bad rounds, mid to lower 80s. My handicap's what is it? I'd have to check. I haven't looked lately, but it's 3 or 4 handicap.
Damn. I mean, I usually shoot about mid 80s, but that's for 9.
Oh yeah, that's
That's the front nine. The back nine's usually worse because I'm usually hammered by that point. When I lived in Virginia, I had a condo right on the ninth hole of a golf course. That's when I first started picking it up because just swing by the condo, refill your bag with beer. I'm the guy walking up to the tee box. You hear the bottles clinking and
Slurring your words.
Yeah.
This is slow, first of all, up
Yep.
here. But also, this is one of those spots we were talking about. I agree with Kyle that I would have liked to seen something a little more robust out of here to do something.
Yep.
To like lean back into a reoffer of some sort. But yeah, it's everything's starting to kind of be, you know.
Yeah, every time the sellers step in, it doesn't go anywhere. And you can see the 1036 candle, they started to really try to push. And yeah, just nothing.
And we have like a little delta into these highs, nothing crazy. I think the bigger thing is that what is it, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 850 or so, right around 796 to 18.8, like that area
Hmm.
is like a pretty decent cluster of delta there. And then like 16 to 20, it's another like 5, 600, 816 to 820 to the positive. So yeah, when I'm watching delta by price, I usually uh compress it by 2 points so that I get like those like just ranges of heavy delta. It's a little clear for me. For NASDAQ, now obviously, if you compress 2 ticks of delta on on ES, you wouldn't have a chart.
No.
Considering the things run like 10 points today.
Yeah, I like it, Brian. I like that, and then I'll use large market trade orders like Fady was talking about and Kyle. And then I have a volume candle chart. So like the pace by which we create volume candles obviously dictates the amount of volume coming through. So like pace of orders and all of that I can see on that volume candle chart. So I kind of have like visualized the DOM activity for me. Yep, no worries. And then I've also used the same thing Kyle was talking about with Delta. The coloring of the candles will be colored by candles that produce larger Delta. And it's like I have like a threshold for that.
Yeah, Steve, I was just gonna ask that if you guys still do the polls here?
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
Oh, early exit. Yeah, sure.
Does the poll ask about journaling?
No, this one doesn't.
Oh, thank God. Oh, I can't vote?
Uh,
I can't vote either.
Oh, that's
Maybe
Sadly,
because
it's
you
not for
can't
us. Yeah.
all right. Are you, yes, exactly, Brian.
That's funny.
And if you ever want to see Vico get fired up, tell him you didn't journal. Pretty sure he had to buy a new laptop a couple of years ago when he did that one seminar. I'll tell you what though, that was what finally drilled in the point that I need to freaking do it.
That was good. Something came out of it.
Speaking of which, I'm doing mine right now. Tell you what, isn't it funny? Like when you like this has been a while since I've been on anybody's stream, but just having the extra eyes on you makes you execute a lot better, I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. I found that out when I started trading with Vic. I was like, huh, trading a team is a lot better than trading alone. There is more accountability as well as, there's another voice in your head other than just your head,
Right.
Like sometimes I get caught up like on like trying to get long, for example, and Vic is like, no, I'm trying to get short, or I'm staying away. And that gives you that sense of like, oh, okay, no, I'm rushing things. I need to slow down, and it does help. It's a layer of
Yeah.
pressure, but it comes with a layer of accountability as well. So it kind of balances out after the first while. You
There's
just have to
definitely
like the person that you're trading with, otherwise you're gonna, you're gonna,
it helps when you
you're
trade similarly too, I think.
yeah,
Know they're
yeah,
looking at the same things you are. One thing that's tough about trading or listening to other people's is that if you don't know how they trade or what their targets are, what their stops are, like they can throw
yep.
you off of what you're looking at. They may be looking at a scalp when you're trying to get like a positional trade.
Position. Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you. Trading with different, like similar styles is one thing, and yeah, absolutely, man.
Someone just short the 12s, it looks like. That's a nice trade, Marco. I think he's starting to look a little more interesting. But I think I'm done for the day.
Yeah, barely done
Yeah,
anything today,
same
which is
here.
good.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm most proud of. Writing in my what I did well. Patience.
I was too early on the short. It stops me out by like a point or so, and then it goes, that's okay.
Yeah, I think the big miss for me was getting a little too protective of the long entry I took down at the mid 30s. But with news coming up, I didn't want to risk that thing just blowing right through me.
What I found interesting about trading is like what a small margin of management and change can do.
Oh,
Sometimes you tighten the stuff by like just a couple of points or so. You think this is insignificant because you didn't want to take the risk, and then it like stops you out, goes 50 points in your way. Sometimes you try it twice and it doesn't work, and the third time where you could have tried it or should have tried it, that's the time that it goes. So yeah, like just like knowing what the setups and what you look for looks like for the entry is the main thing, and just being disciplined and doing it all. And sometimes you don't want to do it all. Sometimes you get dealt a couple bad hands at the beginning before things start to look, you know, like what you
that's
it's gonna look like for analysis.
that's one of the toughest trades though, is you get your stops taken from you two times in a row to be able to try to
Then
have the fortitude
yeah,
to stick with the thesis when it's still valid.
absolutely, absolutely.
Baba's really good at
That's
doing that.
Taking stops back to back to back.
No, being able to not let that affect you is what I mean. Because you trade with such a tight stop that you're willing to re-enter because of that.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Just when I'm not trading minis, when I'm trading micros, I'm a little more trigger happy and a little more like because it costs so little to find out. But we were talking about that yesterday with that whatever that 15 trade was. We were talking about was it 9:15 to 9:30 range or whatever. Like, yeah, it's like I'll pay $100 3 or 4 times in there, or whatever, $120, 3 or 4 times. Because the potential of that trade I felt was pretty big.
There's a 99 lot seller there in NQ that just got stuffed.
Yeah, they ate his lunch. And my thought on that is, let's see what we do with this 43 to 59 range here on NQ, coming into a decent. It's also almost 11, so it could be interesting. My thought is, like, if I pay $120, $130 to find out, I might find out on the first time that's the entry and we rip, and then I can add with strength. But if not, then I'll wait and you take another setup, and then the second, that might be the one, or the third one might be the one. And the nice thing is sometimes the first one bangs and I get to add into it, and I got to find out, at least test the idea for a very small fee. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 fees before I get going. But
yeah, that's a part of like using a tight stop, is usually, until the trade plays out, like how you want it to play out, you often try it a couple of times. Yeah. I used to like have a tighter stop as well. Like when I started trading, I was actually on the minis. Micros didn't exist, so there wasn't the financials to take wider stops, you can say.
right.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with the minis, it's one contract, like $50. Like it's just you gotta be tight on the stop, quick on the execution. Like the more years passed by, I realized it's just about like finding the right side, staying on it, being patient, and doing less activity on the wrong side or the side that's not working. Because sometimes you can do the thing on the opposite and you'll get rewarded for it in trading, but like it's just that will get you hurt in another market environment. So like once we open, I try to find who has more momentum, who has the structure, try to play on that side until things reverse, and then I stop. And that kept me alive for a while. For until now, I mean. Yeah. Like I'm trading outside in like a cafe that I go to, and like the amount of people that came to me today and asked what I do, because when I step back, I look like I have the laptop and 2 small screens. It actually looks intimidating. It looks like I'm doing something serious, but in reality, like one of these screens is just like for, I don't know, no reason, pretty much just Discord. And yeah, like the other two are one for Nasdaq and one for S&P.
Next time
Yeah.
someone asks you, just tell them like, I can't really talk about it, but let's just say I'm trying to limit Iran's nuclear capabilities.
No, I'll fuck with them so hard. You know how much risk is depending on me at this moment, dude? Don't talk. I'm preventing a war out here.
No, now get me a
Give me better
coffee.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, at the cafe.
Yeah.
Give me a coffee. That's funny.
Wow, Steven caught the long. Good job, man.
Yeah, those longs. Sellers never could go take a target that mattered. That was the other little clue there. And after that news, it was kind of, I guess it was a reasonable-ish when we sucked back in 87, being that I was flat, to give it another little go. But man, the fact that the sellers kind of just never could, I think somebody even mentioned that, never could take and hold any ground.
Yep.
that was the little hat tip for sure. And not being able to get below that volume from that AM range or that Euro range, that volume point of control area. Couple of little clues there.
I think after the news too, that's what I wrote in my journal, is that retest of the OR high, the 5-minute OR high in the mid 70s there. How they just couldn't get any traction back inside. They couldn't even get, I mean, they tested the overnight high and just popped right off of it.
Yeah. I will be interested to see what we do with this 859. 859, 860, 4-hour swing high. Afternoon session, kind of one of the afternoon range highs. And really, I would imagine a potential for some incentivized sellers to come in, at least to make an attempt, but we shall see.
You want to run the poll, Vico?
Yeah, sure.
Don't cover the results till I get back. My eyes are floating.
Bullish momentum like pretty much all freaking day here.
Yeah, even on S&P, like that pullback on 12 got like 05, 06, boom, rebid back up. Yeah, sell side is the wrong side today. No wonder Friday, end of the week. We're back into all-time high areas and we dipped below, so yeah. Yesterday was crazy. That sell-off in the morning was insane. I was like,
I know.
ah.
Those sons of bitches.
Does anybody want to do any trade reviews while we're all here?
I should have my trade reviews. I should have held that long a little longer.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Like that. Oh, okay, very good. Sorry, Kevin. Just seeing your question on here now. He's asking about pullbacks. How do you handle the pullbacks on NQ? How do you know when to get out? Bob, are you still in here? If he is, he's muted. I don't know. That's tough because sometimes those pullbacks can look really scary, but I think the key is on that to just zoom out, let the structure inform you. Like, oh, those pullbacks coming, and are they taking anything that matters? Swing 5-minute swings, 1-minute swings. If they're not taking those or they're not accepting through those, then that should give you a little bit more confidence to try to hold those for longer.
What was that you just said? Sorry, I was talking to my wife for a minute. You're talking about swings that mattered or something?
Yeah, Kevin on the YouTube there was asking about trading trends and the pullbacks being challenging. He's just asking how we handle the pullbacks on NQ and when do you know when to get out?
Oh yeah. I mean, today it was a little bit less what's the way to put it? There was there was some swings that really mattered that once they were traded below, we needed to stay below. And I think identifying the swings that matter and the activity that comes in around those, like the pace of tape, the DOM, time and sales, all of the order flow type stuff, that's when it really is important to be keen on, I think. But yeah, I mean, the sellers never could get below and hold below anything that really mattered. We traded below 30-minute swing lows, but every time we just rallied right back in.
Yep.
I think like with holding NAS, like today was a little trickier because like I was long like close to the open at that like mid 40 or something, and then I took it out at like 80, 85. And when it pulled back, I didn't get into it because like it tested that level 3 times today. Like trying to hold through all of those, you're kind of just risking like 40 points of open profit, 50 points of open profit every time. So like holding NASDAQ through swings, I'd honestly need it to actually trend. So like on this last rally from those lows on that news, like that was out of all those longs, like for me, probably the most holdable one. And like the guy said, like Bob was saying, Delta, like I honestly just look at Delta clusters and I'll hide behind them with like the spoos too. But like you kind of need it to trend. Like if it keeps coming back to your entry after 50-point zips, then like
There's a bit of a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like before it started trending, it really was chopping back and forth into like those 76 back into 40. So it didn't trend like right away on the day. It was kind of sideways within a range, so made it harder to hold. Then it kind of held and went towards the end. The main key thing there is like when Nasdaq or any market starts trending, don't get caught up on the wrong direction and just like keep fading, because like it will take away the early profit and it will also will drain you. So don't get caught up on the wrong side. After the news, as you guys like said, the DOM was just too bullish on NQ to try to short. On
Even
S&P,
before before the news, like it was just like they were getting trapped on the short, just constantly bidding on both markets.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't have any short stay, thankfully.
yes.
Yeah,
I had
me
one
neither.
short on S&P 08 half. I'll take that trade. It's whatever.
I mean, there's a couple of potential short opportunities in there, but I just didn't have any confidence in any of them today.
Oh man. Yeah.
Wanna close the
Oh, yeah.
poll, Vic?
Yeah, I just looked at the time. Pretty solid today. Not that many people came out. I think everyone's on vacation mode, which is understandable. I'll send you these numbers. And yeah, we're gonna look to wrap it up here. Just long train only.
All right, just close your eyes and buy.
Move above this 5,300 on the spoos.
About to trade value area high yesterday. 887s.
Value area high, the balance area is up around 900s. It's kind of where, if the open wasn't as choppy as it was, that would have been my
A lot better
hopium target.
72% between live positive and break even. Good work. If you found today challenging, like let us know in the chat. What were some challenges? I think the main challenge was staying long within the first like 15 minutes or so before the news. It was just kept bouncing lower. So,
Shit,
yeah,
here's
good numbers regardless.
Yeah, what's your guys' typical results?
around 70%.
It's pretty solid.
On average. Well, it's 24 pretty much trade. Well, 24 trades on the spoos. Woo! Damn, I had that 96.
Oh god.
But like there
Yeah.
was no viable shorts today, in my opinion. Like just strong bidding even after that little dump pullback. Nas just looked way stronger to me today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh man, look at that. Look
Yeah.
at those,
Any
look at
final
those
words you guys
entries.
have before we wrap it up for the weekend?
Don't move your stops. Unless you have
Yeah.
data that shows you're good at it.
Yeah.
That hit home.
That's funny because I just
Yours.
pre-market I was talking about it. Like, I don't like doing that. And then I did it.
Uh,
But hey, at least it wasn't a red day.
yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
I mean, it wasn't anything special, but man, wish I would have held some of those longs for a little bit more.
You and I both, brother.
Good session, guys. Nice talking to you. We'll do a podcast together.
Yeah,
we
when are
need to do
you
that.
We have to.
when are you gonna
Yeah,
be
like
in Canada?
I'm gonna be like my flight is on the June 8th. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna check what time is it again because you told me around like 9:10. That's when you host. So I'll check
Yeah.
what time I'll get there, and we'll either do it that week, that day, or maybe the week after or the day after, depending on my flight. I'll keep up with you on Discord, Kyle.
Yeah. Let me look and
Awesome.
just check real quick what June is. So that would
June
be
8th
like the
is a
14th.
Friday.
June 8th is Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. So
We'll
yeah,
shoot for the 14th then?
sure. Yeah, 14th is the Friday after, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. That will work for me.
Awesome. We'll
Yeah.
get that on this calendar here.
That will be great. I'm excited.
Yeah, and we record those live on Friday, so if anybody wants to join in, just wait, do we have our Discord link on here?
I doubt it.
Probably not. Yeah, you should go to VantaTrading. You'll find it on the website there, or bantatraders.com, bantatraderspodcast.com.
Perfect. Well, go check them out. What was the podcast called again?
Band of Traders.
Band of Traders. Go
Formerly
check out Band of Traders. That podcast. Some people last time you guys were on, they were like, "Oh shit, this is great. I never heard of it before." So go and check them out. We'll do these more often. Get a little collab here going on Fridays as we stream. And I appreciate you guys coming on. Solid sesh today, and enjoy the long weekend, everyone.
Yes.
Awesome.
Get some-
Take care,
get some
guys. Take care.
Yeah,
Degen.
thanks for having us.
Get some degenerate Monday trades in.
Don't do it. Don't
No,
do
I
it.
won't. I won't.
Always a pleasure,
Awesome.
guys. Take care.
Yeah, have a good
Later.
one.